So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Thursday, the 29th of May. And yeah, like I was saying, we've seen a big flip in the long to short ratio just very recently in the past 4, 8, 12, 16 hours. So, only in the last day, it's literally come back up to 50-50. We actually peaked above to more longs to shorts, which is a massive change from uh, when's that? 4, 8, 12, 16. 20, 24, 28, 32, 36 hours. So literally a day and a half. We've gone from 0.57 to 1, which is definitely a drastic change. Um, so yeah, if that were to hold for maybe another like 12 hours, or I'd like to see it for a couple days, then we might see a short-term top. But it's definitely one thing to keep an eye on, especially as we're like super overcooked on the daily oscillator and the momentum. Uh, for the order book, yeah, we have some stuff stacking above us. If I just zoom in here, 538 at 109k, which is quite a lot, and then another like 488 at 109, so 108 and 109, which kind of matches up with this little hip right here. So far we haven't seen a close below 106.8. So yeah, but we have lost the node now. It's very simple. Do I have a brush on this? This is like a new circle. It's very simple. Like this, how do I? This area now is going to be an area of interest to potentially regain, uh, and make it look a bit more interesting. But yeah, it's kind of in a little no train zone to be honest, Bitcoin, and we'll hopefully just see it go maybe a little bit sideways in a range, and then altcoins can pop off a little bit because the altcoins are not looking that bad at the moment. Actually, they're looking better than Bitcoin. So in the recent liquidity, we have stuff from 110.7 all the way up to one. Let's call it just 114 for simplicity's sake, and obviously a lot of stuff below us. And I wonder if we go on the 2 week. Yeah, that's some quite heavy stuff below us. So it'll be interesting to see if we take any of this stuff at like 1057 and then close back above 106, whatever that level is. I actually can't. 106.7 ish. Um, because then maybe we could resume the uptrend. But yeah, right now it's just looking a bit. It's looking a bit neither here nor there. We either want to see a break of this level, or yeah, we want to see us. We kind of have lost in the local price action, just very, 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 very recently. But yeah, it's I can't really get like too bearish on the price action just because of the long to short ratio. But I imagine that if we come down a little bit more, we might see more longs smashing into the market. But yeah, let's move on. Change stream, change stream. Let's get the charts going. And we'll change it on my recording app as well. Right, all good. Damn, this Japanese Wi-Fi is rapid. I think it might even be faster than my Wi-Fi at home in London, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, let me So again, let's go on the hourly. A freshish chart. So yeah, we haven't actually got a close below here just of yet, but it is tested. So any any failures now, and it's looking like we might sweep some of that 106. Like I said, because there is a lot of liquidity like underneath here, if we do something like this and then regain, it will be looking quite good, especially yeah, especially if the long to short ratio is not too heavily long, but it remains to be seen. And until we like, I think that's the daily. So this is the daily all-time high swing. It still hasn't broken down on the daily yet. We need to see some closes below let's call it like 106, and then yeah, it might be looking a little bit more toppy, but yeah, a bit too early to tell, but definitely some warning shots in the price action. And if you just look at the oscillator, it's obviously been going like this for a while. So yeah, get one close below there, and then you can engage your red button again. Engage your red button. But yeah, it's still not looking that bad. Like that doesn't look too bad, in my opinion. In terms of Bitcoin DOM, yeah, we still haven't seen the break above May, which is really good. We've also lost the weekly. It's fine. We're in support right now. We want to see this continue to like test and lose levels. The weekly is untested as of now, so that might be an interesting test, but we don't want to see it hold this. We want to see it come back down and make a new low around 62.8%. And then yeah, just to make some more altcoin gains. Now ETH is looking okay. We're still holding that daily swing, and we have some hidden bull on the daily time frame, which is quite nice. It means continuation of the trend. For this to look really bullish, it would just have to look like that and a retest, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna get the mini alt season, and yeah, we can go for there. But that's why I'm kind of a little bit preemptively, but trying to get exposed to a couple low-ish risk altcoin trades. Just potentially because ETH is looking like semi-decent. We are at resistance though, so it's a logical area for us to stop around that swing, just in there where resistance, support, come up, retest it. We're gonna bearish div again as well on the daily. So yeah, it's still looking. It hasn't broken down yet. It's still looking quite interesting to potentially long if this loads. Yeah, we've got a lot of support in between the Q4 and whatever that is, September, May, or whatever. And probably a decent amount of like long liquidity under here that could be taken on like that, and then. But yeah, a little bit wishy-washy to be honest. At the moment, we actually did have a nice little pop earlier today, and created some overlapping support, which is nice. Nice to potentially see like a rise in the altcoin market, but it's kind of feeling like potentially some early toppy signs. It's obviously way too early to call, and I don't think we have topped yet, but it's just something to keep in mind. Uh, I think we could see like one more leg, and then it might start to like do a distribution, and then the altcoins pop off. If we get the one more leg and altcoins pop in, and then we get like this like 2 to 4 week like kind of flat-ish period where it then distributes, yeah, that will likely be maybe it. But yeah, like I said, too early to call, and it's just like it's still looking okay on the daily time frame. Just that resistance, nothing really too much to say. Some of these like blue chip altcoins do look quite good though. So Solana, obviously bang support. It's kind of just coiling up, and it might go for a little pop up into here. And yeah, if it were to get like in between 250 and 230, I would quite enjoy that, and I think that's very very possible, especially in the near term. Even if we see some sort of like slightly grindy price action on Bitcoin. Just check the streams all good. Everything all good. Everything all good, yeah. Nice. But yeah, like that to me looks like it wants to coil up and maybe try and pop the yearly open. And if it doesn't, it's fine. We can maybe potentially talk about longing a little bit lower, like 150-ish on Solana. Now, I would like to start making a habit of checking the smaller time frames in case that we could get like a little scalp on stream. There's not really like a whole lot going on this chart apart from we made a new low on the hourly and a very weaker higher high. Yeah, it's looking a bit janky, but not too bad. That is definitely a higher high, so you're potentially looking to long this until proven otherwise. Although it has bearishly retested there. Yeah, it's just looking a bit like very locally downtrendy, but then still in a daily uptrend. Although that's a bearish retest. So yeah, a drop of this level now, it's very simple. Like close a daily below that June level, and we're gonna see some downside in the market, and it's quite similar with Bitcoin at 106k on the daily time frame. But yeah, in terms of altcoins, let's have a look at some of this stuff. Oh, it's a bit sweaty in here. I might have to turn on the AC. Yeah, so Pepe actually has done the pop now. So I think I made the post. No, Pepe wasn't in my post, but Dodge and PopCat were doing exactly the same thing here. They looked like they were coming up to this 4-hour high, but they didn't quite break it and made a new low. But now we actually have broke it. So if we come back down into here, I feel quite comfortable trying to long that at least up until like June or the resistance zone. Um, and yeah, maybe like a two-ish percent stop. It depends where I put my orders in. But the Popcat's not actually doing the same. It actually failed the weekly very, very clearly over here, and then bearishly retested this level and made a new low on the 4-hour. So this is looking slightly worse actually. But my original buy zone was going to be in between June and May. I'm not going to set orders on this just because I want to see how it reacts, but that's also like the daily swing in here. So it might do like that and then a regain and then into resistance again. I definitely think we're going to go see like Q3, especially if we get a little bit breathing room in the alts. So yeah, like I said, hype. I did buy some. I did say the zone was 33 to 32. Not all of my orders got hit, but it was enough. So yeah, like if you are in any sort of in these trades, just make sure you're taking profit, especially like around here, just to de-risk, and then so you're a bit covered if we do start to break down. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that actually. It was kind of perfect. That was something that I just set orders on, and yeah, it hit while I slept. What else we got going on? I would like to hear you guys' thoughts. Like I said on Sui, I'm looking a tiny bit lower, just in between this pocket, the Stuber pocket. Right now yeah, we kind of got a close above there. Let me take this off. Actually, should I take those off? If we go to the hourly, we've got a very local higher high from this low to here. Very, very slightly. It's quite weak actually. It's actually quite weak. Again, looks a little bit squeezy, but I'm just a bit unsure at the moment. There's potentially a range play on Sui if you guys like to like scout ranges, sort of in between there, and then we do like. Oh, I'm already sweating in this room. No, not there. It will be like. We want it like there. So, just in both bands, like here and here, which is quite a nice range if I take off the auto chart then. It's around 8% range. Not the worst, not the best either though. Not the worst, not the best either. Like I was saying on Doge, I don't think we got the 4-hour close above. No, we didn't. We literally failed it to a T actually. So it didn't really trigger my long idea, and it just looks a bit. It just looks a bit tough at the moment. It looks a bit tough. Yeah, I mean on these daily time frames as well, they look like they could use a pullback on pretty much anything. So I mean into there would kind of make sense, but we'll have to see. You're definitely able to short this uh, overlapping resistance, especially if your like risk is really tight. So if you manage to catch something up there, 1.5 to 2-ish%, it's just I don't know. I don't know about shorting at the moment. It's a little bit early for me. It's just a tiny bit early. The long to short ratio makes me want to potentially, like, when we come up, get exposed to a couple. Like even on injective, okay. So if I take this off, I've done this really local fib pool because we did a low and we made a new high here. Lag, lag, and the zone is just below the weekly open with some support, and also the band comes in there. And it looks like it's bearishly retesting the daily at the moment with all these wicks into the band, which is also resistance. So this looks like it definitely could come back down into here, and even just at least to the 618. So like, I wouldn't be mad at you if you tried, for sure. You don't want to see it gain like, I mean, that's already tested. This is literally being tested right now. Like, if you see it wick into here and then start failing daily open, it's probably going to come back down onto the 618. Yeah, it's looking interesting. If I just go to daily, again, when daily resistance up here, it's not broken down yet, but it looks like it could potentially just come back down and hold in between here and maybe do like that for a bit and build some liquidity while this daily band comes up, and then this is the new low that you don't want to lose, which would make a lot of sense to me. I've seen that happen quite a lot. It just takes a couple of weeks to develop. So yeah, maybe potentially some shorts shaping up, possibly, especially on these daily time frames. Like it's starting to look like it could maybe switch, but yeah, I'm trying to just play both sides. Like I'm long on hype. I maybe might try and long something else, but again, it's looking a bit janky. And then maybe I'll try and short something just to cover the downside if it were to happen, because then I can just sleep soundly and be happy with whatever way we decide to go. But yeah, definitely. Oh, whoops. Definitely like injective in here would potentially interest me. Now, I'm not sure what I said in my Pro Sigs, my level in the Pro Sigs post, but I'm shorting injective from 14.7. 14.7. So you're in a little bit low. How big have you got room to DCA, and what leverage are you on, by the way? 14.7. You're looking at potentially coming all the way up to 15.3 and then failing maybe. Don't want to gain the daily where it's at. If you're on a high leverage, then you're anything above like 3x, and you're kind of starting to sweat a bit if we start gaining daily open. But yeah, I'm not mad at you. I definitely see the logic behind it, just because you have a high here with a wick into the band. You made a new low on the hourly, and you bearishly retested that. So that's the grab of this. So, and then we're also bearishly retesting this. So I'm definitely, I see the logic for sure, and I hear it. I'm also like kind of thinking the same thing. I'm just a bit hesitant because Eva's still looking kind of good, but yeah, I might even follow you, man. The reason why I don't like it just here is because you could potentially wick up like 2 to 2.5%, which is going to take my stop. Unless I'm on like 3x cross, but then I'm using higher position size, and it's like it could just get tickled, and then I'm like a bit too Bit too exposed. But yeah, I see the vision. I definitely see the vision. In terms of the lower time frames, let's have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. Yeah, it's kind of just the same. What level have I got charted on this, by the way? Is it a daily? It's a daily swing low that has been tested. Wait, what? Yeah. If we close the daily below that, it's looking like it wants to roll over for sure. For sure, for sure. Yeah, actually, it does look. It definitely looks like we're going to do that, I think. So interesting. This is also going to be the bearish retest of the daily, and that's that daily low that I've got charted on. But yeah, maybe I'll get exposed to a little tickle, a little short in my armory. What's the move on PopCap? 1.6%. It's not that good. It's not that good at all. We'll move on to some other things. Yeah, Fartcoin. I actually placed some. Oh, okay. I'll talk about not financial advice, by the way, but I did place a few orders on Fartcoin. Sort of like nine. Where was it? About nine. Can't remember the exact prices, but it was somewhere in this yellow circle. It was between $1 and 9.3, I think. That I just have some resting 3x bids in around here. So if we were to potentially like bearishly retest this and then come down into this pocket, then yeah, I'm finally going to be able to accumulate a little bit. After years of waiting, literally so long waiting for it, and it's just not, it just doesn't dump, but it's still holding as of now. Barely. It's barely holding. Another thing that I did set some orders on, which I was talking about, I think at the start of the week, was Render. So I always like to show you the daily chart on Render, uh, just without anything, just so you can get a little bit of context into what's going on, which would be a test of this all the way down here bullishly, and then a regain of this. So definitely bullish on the daily and holding. As long as it doesn't drop this low now on the daily, which was I think here. This is a very important low now. Then I think we can just safely look for potentially more upside. You could also maybe even pull a fib, which we are in. But yeah, I've got some orders set, like in here, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. In the short term, there actually might be a breakout short here, because this is looking quite bearish. I reckon when America opens, they're probably gonna dump this shit. That looks bearish to me. Break below. If you get the retest, you're looking good to potentially take this lower. And that would be a confirmed short. It's not like something where you're preemptively catching a bid, or like a knife or something. You actually have confirmation that this is going lower. So yeah, and then hopefully it'll come into my buy zone. But yeah, just like I was saying, been saying for like maybe a week or two. It's a bit of patience, and maybe I think we're coming to the end of the patience, where you either have to bid and we're gonna break, or yeah, it's it's just starting to shape up a little bit. Those bands are also getting super tight on the 4 hour. Super, super tight. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to turn the AC on. Actually, I can. Just do it. It's fucking hot, mate. Yeah, slap that on, man. Just gonna check the chat. Yeah, everything all good. So really, we're just gonna chill today. It's kind of just like a general roundup. I haven't really been keeping up with all the news and the events, to be honest. So, does anyone have any information for me that might be helpful? I know we've got how many days are in May? Is it 30 or 31? I think it's 30. So we've got the end of the month tomorrow on a Friday, which is quite nice actually. Um, but yeah, I'm not really aware of any of the news or anything that's really going on at the moment. I'm kind of just like not really paying attention to it. But I still think like a lot of these alts are just coiling up potentially, or they're gonna have like a bullish retest slightly lower. But yeah, the hype longs are up about. If anyone did get any of it, you're up about 7% raw. Not bad. Not actually too bad so far. So yeah, I know that was I intentionally put it first on the Pro Sigs list on the list that I made to emphasize the importance of it. Another potentially interesting thing that I was looking at is FET. So first of all, obviously just go to the daily. It's holding this swing. Well, zoom in a little bit here. Holding kind of this swing right here and this order block, there will be a high there. You know what? I'll put raise on. I need a better way to mark stuff. Yeah, exactly right there. We're holding that quite nicely at the moment. However, on the 4 hour, it's looking a little bit bearish just because of this retest. And we are in the band. So if this were to come back down into here, I would potentially be interested in it. Yeah. We just don't want to break these lows. So most of the alts, the lows that we did like 19th to 20th of May are going to be super important or around that time to not break. Anyway, that is just way too much on this chart though, isn't there? Like still an uptrend for sure. For sure, for sure. Not breaking down. And yeah, also Tia still kind of just bumbling along the bottom. Not really looking like it's moving as of yet, but potentially a good area to maybe accumulate a little bit more, which I might add to my trade if it starts looking quite nice. Yeah, just at the lows. We kind of already did the 786 touch here and regained it, so we want to see this weekly open hold now. And whatever this level is, just in between there, looks like the sweet spot. The spot of sweets. Yeah, got some overlapping support going as well. Interesting, interesting. Oh, so AVAX. Damn, it's taking ages to load. AVAX is actually above its daily and its weekly open. It's also retested its weekly open just about. Wait, let's just see it on the 1 hour. Yeah, that I would count that as a retest. It kind of looks like it wants to pop. This looks like it wants to pop, so I'm actually potentially quite interested in longing this on the weekly if we get like a little doot doot up to November. And then, why is it not loading? We also made a new high, so yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on, especially on the smaller time frames as well. Also looks like it could do something. Yeah. Next, what do we got going on near? Yeah, so near is also having some potentially decent movement. We've created a lot of support here in the last like couple days, and did we get a close below there? We didn't get a close below that 4 hour. It's literally right on it. And this bottom band is also starting to arc up. So maybe something like this, reject, come down, retest, and then like into resistance would be quite a nice trade actually. Quite a quite a high conviction trade, let's say. And yeah, the last one I was looking at also is dot on the daily, I think. Was I looking at on the daily? Yeah, so it just looks a bit flaggy. Oh, major lag. Looks a bit like flaggy. Do that, and then like into here, and then it will like do that, probably. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. What are you guys looking at? Talk to me, legends. Can you Griffin? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Damn, can't listen right now. My son's doing an MMA session. Damn. Project Project Conor McGregor. Want to know your thoughts on Griffin? Also, probably missed it. I'll have to watch the recording. Oh, he's already gone. I was literally just about to do it. So Griffin, yeah, it's one of those ones where I don't want to touch it with leverage because it's a bit fucked. But if I go to the BitGet chart, we'll turn everything off and we'll just look at it on the daily time frame for now. So this daily swing is what we gained, and then there's another swing here, but I'm not putting the low. That is the low. I might as well just mark it for you. Whoops. That's another one which was holding us down here with a high there. So it's basically two levels that also line up with the fib pocket. So we had a low here, we created a new high. I pulled the fib, and it kind of perfectly comes out on the levels that we're looking at. So the first one is in between 0.074 and 0.07, and the next one will be sort of like 0.065 to 0.06. We could obviously still hold this upper swing that we have been holding up here, as the daily hasn't closed yet, but we have bearishly retested the weekly open here, and we are kind of making lower lows and lower highs in the 4 hour. Don't get me wrong, it definitely could still break out from here. Like, I'm not writing it off just yet, but it is starting to look a little bit. One more, and then yeah. But I still think it looks quite good, actually. And if we get into here, this is going to be super bottomed. We're going to be in the daily band, and it's just going to be It's gonna be go time, I think. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Griffin. I have set some spot bids in here and in here to get hit. And then if we like see the bounce and we don't get back above here, then it might be time to run for the hills, unfortunately. But it's kind of an if then when, and the daily's still intact. I still think it looks quite good for an alt run, which is why I'm betting on it. What about you guys? Do we think Griffin is still a good project? Team haven't been active on X for over a month. Yeah, so I think I was talking to who the fuck was I talking to? It might have been was it Will? It was Will at the event, and he said, was it Will? No, no, that might have been about Trio actually, where he designed a bunch of stuff for Trio and they didn't really use it, and the team's a little bit like, but still, they're gonna apparently market make it. I don't know. I'm still holding onto my Trio with hope, but yeah, Griffin is something which like it's just gonna be one of those ones where the new tech is just gonna trump the old tech with AI agents because the space is evolving so fast that the newest hottest thing is just gonna take over and like pump, and you're just always gonna be chasing pumps. That doesn't mean I don't think the chart can go back to like 20 cents because I do think it can, but if the team haven't been active for a month on X, that's definitely a bit of a warning sign for me. I also haven't really been on their. I tried it out when they first came out. I haven't actually been on the project recently, just because I'm a bit busy. So previously they were posting daily at a minimum. Yeah, definitely worrying. At least like the thing that I liked about them was when the market was bad, they were posting shit and they were building. So it gave me a little bit of confidence, but yeah, it's just one of those ones where you have to look at the chart and just be like, it's it's broken out of accumulation. As long as it holds like here, then it should go a little bit further up into here. And then as when it goes up to here, this area, there's no promises that it will go higher. Absolutely no promises at all. But I still think it looks good. So yeah. You just want to bet on coins that are strong though as well. So that's why I'm covering hype. I'm covering Fartcoin, like 3x cross longs. Just trying to build a position where it's obviously difficult with altcoins that swing so fast and hard because you can get stopped out on a 2% wick like any time if you're on 5x and you're being mindful of your risk and you're trying to get like the perfect entry or perfect position, and your idea was right and your buy zone was right. It's just the order book, or like you just get it like the tiny mistakes can like mess you up, and like not mess you up but like you get stopped out and then it goes like fucking 20%. You're like, oh fuck's sake. So you need to have an array of different positions going on at the same time. Like you need to have your 3x cross longs, you need to have your 5x entries, you need to have your 10x scalps, and you need to do it either way. Just make your plans. Just have like multiple plans going on at once, multiple ideas, and try to be rigid with sticking to your plan, but also flexible if it doesn't go your way. But I'm still like tentatively holding out hope that we're gonna get some sort of alt season. We literally haven't really got one. We obviously got a little one when we went up to the all time high just because it was such a violent up move in the market. Um, it just might take a bit of time. Like, what if we do this for? What if we do that for? Hold on, let's go on the weekly. Oh, stupid, Stupid brush. We could potentially do this, like, maybe not that long, but yeah, it could take all year. Could take us up till November, and it could take all summer to just do that, like really slow. Everyone gets really bored. We get like a couple bad closes in the daily, and people start selling their bags and thinking it's over, and then we just regain and go like that in like 1 or 2 months towards the end, and then it's just done. Like before people even realize it's done, and everyone's trying to jump on the boat late. It's just like it's typical. It's so typical. So typical. Very typical. I think Will was big on it, because I think their team is made up of from Pete's from Solana. Yeah, they said he said that they have the same VCs and that they were gonna run it up to the $1 billion market cap at least. Um, yeah, and I think the same with what was it, Cookie, which is actually ripped recently. Cookie. This is actually a chart that looks double decent as well. And just know that like something like this, which is also kind of a little bit what Griffin looks like, if we do like drop this level and hold here, it's still pretty bullish. It's actually more bullish than if we just do that, because if we do that, it's probably going to be over very quick, and then we get the bear market. Like, but if we do this, then we get more spring for the upside. We could potentially see like highs. It just looks more organic. More organic. Is Jack muted? Seems he is. Gotta go. No, I'm not muted. I'm definitely not muted. Just came back a moment ago. Oh. I think I was saying something pretty important as well. I think we lost you for a minute or so. That's really weird. Very strange. Um, what was I talking about? Yeah, I was just saying quickly just then when I was looking at the cookie chart, that would be more bullish than this, I think, because it just looks more organic, and we're probably going to stop here. Well, maybe not more bullish, but it's still bullish. More bullish is probably the wrong way to describe it, but it's still bullish. I'd only just joined, so I figured it was a new artistic style. Yeah, contemporary, bro. I'm doing contemporary streaming now. You have to infer what I'm saying, so to teach you guys a bit more, you have to like let your own you have to connect your own neurons. No, but anyway, love it. But yeah, anything else? Potentially just still kind of waiting for. I'll go over the Pro 6 post quickly. So hype 32 to 33 first level, like I talked about, that's been hit. We're up about 7-8%. Nice. Sui, that's the Stuba pocket. It also lines up the 4-hour combination band. It's a little bit lower just because the price action looks a little bit janky at the moment. Doge and Popcat, we didn't get the 4-hour high closed, so those haven't been triggered yet. I am looking maybe slightly lower on Popcat. H bar. Oh, we haven't even done H bar, and I forgot to add Pepe and Griffin onto that post. So maybe I'll do another one quickly. But Pepe is actually looking like not too bad. This is what I thought Popcat and Doge were gonna do, or want. Sorry, not thought. I wanted them to do. So yeah, maybe quite like a high conviction long up to there. Could be about 10%, which is quite nice. It could also happen really fast and then just fail. It's like that, and then like, yeah, yeah. Or you get a breakout and you're like super happy, and you're super happy with it. H bar. Let's look at H bar quickly. Then maybe we can wrap it up if no one's got anything else. Yeah, H bar's an interesting one. I think on the daily time frame, if I just take that off quickly, it looks very interesting. As we've obviously tested this swing down here, there, and I've since done the regain and creating nice structure here. So if we to hold like there, it's definitely primed for a little pop up into the high structure, which is why I'm kind of looking at it to potentially bid. It just looks a tiny bit janky if we go down to the 4 hour, where we're kind of sliding down into it, and we've barely retested the weekly just then. So I'm looking a tiny bit lower, maybe into here, to long. But we don't really want to see this broken, because then it starts looking like, okay, when we're in a proper downtrend now, and we might even start like coming to do that. But I think it still looks quite decent at the moment. Definitely looks like some of them are gearing up. Like it's just like a matter of time. Like coiling up. And you could also draw a fib from this low to this high here, and it would probably come in to just about around where we are right now, the 786. Yeah, yeah. Injective fair. I think I talked about those a little bit. Quick look at arc again would be appreciated. Yeah, sure. Look to be losing things on the 4 hour, but may well be holding arc rig complex perp diabetic. Thank you. Yeah, arc and those arc like arc. Is it arc rig? Yeah, and what was the other one? Like AI 16. They're like really weird to trade. Yeah, it does look like it's holding. Again, quite similar with what was it? That was quite similar with H bars, like in the very local. Well, hold on there, buddy. In the very local, just a little bit downtrendy here, but also looks really good on the daily. Again, quite like that. Definitely like quite like that to hold. Yeah, it looks good. Just what out of interest? What's the? I think the thing is trading with this with leverage is gonna just be a nightmare because what if you take all that and do a touch like you're sweating and then it just does the regain because it's so fucking weird and then you're like oh because we have made a low low on the 4 hour, not from here but let's look at this fib quickly. Yeah, we're underneath the 886. We're actually bearishly retesting the 886 at the moment. In the pocket though. All this needs to do to look really, really good is break that previous high just that we just set. And then like you can just long anything here. I think that definitely has potential as well. Maybe one to watch. Again, the local price action is rejection, rejection, 2 rejections very recently in the new 4 hour low. So unless we get like a regain, you can potentially look even further down. But then again, you go out to the daily and it looks like it's holding quite well. So a close below 0.53 on the daily on ARC would maybe wreck a few things. But overall, it looks quite decent. So yeah, AI rig complex. Wait, is this is the wrong one? I've had some shit myself moments with it. That's the correct one. Okay, nice. Yeah, so those things like they trade so weird. Like they look like they're doing the 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 breakout or the breakdown, and then they just fucking reverse that shit. It's so annoying. It's almost like traditional trading practices or price action doesn't work on them because when you see the breakout or the breakdown, it almost always reverses and just regains, and then it looks really good. They're just like flushing everyone out of leverage, and then they just send it. Send it, send it to heaven. Oh, way too many lines on that chart. I think it's time to delete that for sure. So yeah, if we get that one more, I'll probably be longing some stuff myself. And yeah, I think that's it for today. I'm gonna pretty tired tonight. What are you guys doing? Anything special? But yeah, I did set those orders on render. My hype bids got set. I've got here. I've got some spot bids on Griffane, and I also set some orders on Fartcoin. Popcat, I'm gonna keep an eye on. Pepe actually looks very interesting in the short term. Yeah, this is probably something that might play out quite soon and might make for like a really good high conviction. Just like pop into there, just a little 10%, nothing too crazy. You're not going for anything crazy here. And yeah, all in all, the long to short ratio is something to keep an eye on. Definitely concerning, but we haven't broken down yet on the daily. ETH Bitcoin still looks good. ETH actually looks better than Bitcoin, which is why I'm slightly more biased towards alts at the moment. And yeah, that'll be it for me today. Thank you guys for joining. I will speak to you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. See ya.